If you're having deja vu, it's because I've featured this bottle on my channel before. This is the Maker's Mark Cask Strength. This is coincidental, but I did notice that this is batch 23, lot 23, batch 23. You may not believe that, but until I got outside, I didn't even think about the coincidence there. So this is 109.5 proof. The bottle that I featured on my channel before was 112 proof, 112 something proof. I like to get between 110 and 114 with these, but I looked through about 24 bottles of these when I was looking to buy this again. As soon as I run out of this, I buy it. This is just something I keep. 42 bucks on sale at my PA liquor store. This is one of my favorite bourbons of all time. It's hard to read that because it's kind of a see-through label there. You see how beautiful it is though. There we go. So even at 109, I'm buying this. There's nothing stopping me from buying this bottle once I'm out. It's not a daily drinker of, but pretty close to it. I like to drink it often, definitely every week. Get a cork pull. Oh, that was a really solid one. Nice. Okay, some in a glass, let it breathe a little. All right. That typical Maker's Mark smell. Maker's is a wheated bourbon, so you are gonna get a different type of smell out of it in a good way. Been looking forward to this, just like every Perdomo I smoke. But I was curious how this Connecticut wrapper was gonna change things. These are aged for 5 years. A lot of coincidences today. Aged for 5 years, 5 different sizes. This is a $9, I mentioned, stick. I think this is, if you're looking to get into Perdomos, maybe start here. Start with these lot 23s. Pick which one, which blend you like the most, a Maduro, Sun-Grown, or Connecticut. I recommend starting here. If you don't know where to start with the Connecticut. If you like lighter cigars, most people kind of have an idea what they like, or at least you think you know what you like. When I first got into this, I was all in on Maduros. I'm a Maduro guy. And then as it turns out, I'm leaning a lot more towards the Connecticut's. I love them. The Connecticut is the wrapper. So this lighter wrapper here. In a month, I may be a sun-grown guy. That's the point of this exploration, is that you change as you go through it. Don't fight change. Embrace it and enjoy it, because it's probably one of the best things about this exploration journey, other than actually smoking and drinking. It's burning perfect. Got a great ash. It's a beautiful day here. Unseasonably warm. Looking about 75 degrees here at the headquarters, which is nice. I don't really like being out in the cold and wind when I'm smoking cigars, but I'm smoking cigars whatever the weather is. It could be snowing and I'm going to smoke one. This is a very stiff, hard stick. It does have a little bit of give when you push. The draw is fantastic, as with most of these. Now, Perdomo does draw test all their cigars, and if you don't know what that means, and you haven't seen that, go on their website or go on YouTube and type in Perdomo draw testing. They show you a video of how they draw. Because I'm like, how do you draw test a cigar without the head cut? Unless you cut, how can you draw test it? But they actually, I don't know if they invented it or not. I'm not trying to kiss Perdomo's ass too much here, but they have a machine, or multiple machines, where they actually can draw test it based on air pressure and all this different stuff. So that's a good reason why I've never had a Perdomo not draw. I had a Perdomo crack, this one, the Lot 23 Sun Grown. If you watch that video, it survived, it made it, I smoked it all, but it did have some issues. But other than that, I haven't had many issues with these guys at all, and especially not the draw. I mean, to draw test every single cigar that you make and still have a I'd say, I know the 30th anniversaries get up there a little bit. You know, let's just throw a high number out there. $9 to $15 on those 30ths. That's amazing that they'll draw test every stick and that you still can't find one that's, from what I've experienced. And again, this is all my experiences. I don't look this stuff up. I'm just going from store to store to store, whether a brick and mortar or online, you know, $9 to $15. I mean, it never had a bad experience, you know, had an issue, but not a bad experience. There's a difference. This is so enjoyable to me. And I know again, I'm going to keep talking about online and YouTube and everything, but a lot of people would pair this with like coffee or maybe even a lighter bourbon, scotch, whiskey. But to me, and I do a lot of these pairings, not too bad at them. I think we'd all agree on that. The lighter stick seems like it would go better with a strong whiskey. You know, so this is cast strength, again, 109 proof. Without further ado, let's get into that, see what we got going on. I would like this to air out a lot more than 5, 4, 3 minutes, whatever it was since I poured it in the glass. A lot of honey, caramel. And then if you haven't, you know, had much experience with Makers, Makers has a distinct smell, kind of like that Buffalo Trace. You know, you can tell it's from that specific distillery. This one you can tell it's from the Maker's Mark distillery in Loretto, Kentucky. I'd like this to air out more than that, but I want you to see me open the bottle. I think people enjoy that. Let me know in the comments if you care. Does it matter to you that I open the bottle on the video? Should I pour this in a glass an hour before? And does that matter to you? All right, here we go. So remember, first sip of the day, no matter what bourbon or whiskey you're drinking, kind of let the first sip go all over your mouth and don't judge it too harshly. And then the second sip, put it on the back of your tongue, on the top of your tongue, keep it there for a second, and then kind of swallow it immediately. I'm not a professional whiskey taster. This is just, again, what I'm learning through my journey. It's very good. Absolutely worth $42. I'm getting that cherry. The Makers has a distinct cherry, just like Buffalo Trace, believe it or not. I do like it. It doesn't seem like it would matter. That 109 proof to 112 proof doesn't seem like it would make a big difference, but I can literally tell because I drink this stuff so often. Those 3 points, the 112s are just better. Like I said, I recommend if you can find them, you know, anything between 110 and 114, and the higher the better. I'd say 112 is the sweet spot. The last bottle I had was a 112. It wasn't over the top better than this, but I'll be honest, so far, you know, initial first 2 sips, the higher proof was a little better. I think if you drink something enough, you can actually tell. I don't think if I put the two next to each other for somebody that doesn't enjoy this often, they'd be able to tell, but I can definitely tell. The retro is so light, even with that little bit of spice on there. It's so nice and light. The cigar is so light and enjoyable. It feels like you could inhale it. Like if you wanted to, like if you were a person that said, I want to inhale my cigar, I don't care what people say, I want to. You know, maybe you just want, I don't know what the reason would be. Maybe you can't help but inhale when you take a puff off something. You know, this is one that you could probably inhale. I mean, this is as light as it gets while still being enjoyable. I mean, this makes that got like a little coffee bean or something in there, like a little earthy. Interesting. I mean, this makes that Man O' War 10th anniversary Virtue seem like a medium cigar. This thing's so mild. Don't let it turn you off to it, though. I mean, unless you hate mild cigars and you only like medium full-bodied, give this thing a try. Definitely recommend it. Yeah, when you chew on the smoke, you get like a, it's not really coffee bean. It's like a earthy sort of hay. Like a hay and honey. I had someone kind of, not criticize, but we're a little confused on when I said honey. Every time I describe something, you got to kind of take it as it's as light as you could imagine. When I say honey, I'm not talking about like jarred honey from a store and you take a spoonful or even like a little lick of it or something. It's not like that. It's just sort of like a honey undertone to the tobacco, like somebody sprayed a mist of honey water onto it. You know, it's just a very subtle, slight little note. I'm just trying to describe, you know, what these things sort of give you as far as the flavor profiles. And by no means am I any kind of an expert. These are just my opinions. You may smoke this and not get what I get out of it. You know, I think it depends on what you've had to eat and drink that day. I typically don't like to eat or drink anything before I review these or explore these. I'm going to show you guys this cork real quick before I forget. It's one of Maker's actual corks. A lot of times they have screw tops. You know, and this says the iconic wax, of course. I think everything they make has this wax on it, whether it's a screw top or a cork. Fits in there nice. The initial cork pull was like killer. It's not bad still. So, you know, these videos, they're just to give you an idea. And most important thing is that you enjoy watching me make them. You know, you enjoy watching me explore these sticks and these whiskeys. You know, take 20 minutes, an hour out of your day, whatever you have, 5 minutes, and hang out with me a little bit. I have a friend, he's a little gnat. Like I said, it's a little warm here today. So he is really interested in this whiskey. I'm almost tempted to just let him have some, because it'll probably kill him. That's how strong it is. I can smell the cherry now, which I couldn't smell until I tasted it. Kind of like a little bit of an almond in this as well. Not really almond though. Again, very kind of on the lighter almond dusty side. Wow, that stuff is so good. There's a couple of bottles of whiskey on the market that are just phenomenal for the price. These Maker's Mark cask strengths are one of them. I'm gonna get some hate here, but I think the Knob Creek, you know, the standard offering from them, their 9-year bourbon, I think is fantastic for the money. I think they're $40 where I live, but they're on sale all the time for $37. You know, and then I like a lot of those budget bourbons too. The Wild Turkey 101, the Evan Williams bottled in bond. You know, a lot of these things. I had a person comment on my Jim Beam age 7-year video. He said he's getting those. I'm not sure if it's a he. I just assume everybody watching this is, mostly watching this is men, but I shouldn't assume that. I apologize, ladies, if you're also watching. I'm happy you're here. Very happy you're here. The person said that they get it for $21 where they live all the time. Man, I was jealous because I think I paid $27 for it, and I don't think I'll be able to get it for cheaper than $27 without traveling. $6, that's a pretty big difference. You know, maybe that person lives closer to the Jim Beam distillery, you know. Very rarely do I get anything in my mouth from these things. Very rarely. It's like a little piece. I'm trying to take my time with this stick. It's hard when I really like it. It's hard to take my time. That's a big dog. My neighbors, they have a couple of Rottweilers. This is just getting better and better. This bourbon's just getting better and better. This does not have an age statement on it. I wonder how old it is. It just says it's aged. Barrel proof, full flavored, yet still smooth, refined, thanks to the soft red winter wheat we used since the beginning. Truest reflection of who we are and what we do. Yeah, I'll say. Maker's Mark, if you're watching, don't raise the price on that bottle. Please keep it where it is.